So quiet in here.
I'm trying to come up with some witty things to ask you. Matt, very generally, what was the game plan against those guys? They like to push the tempo. It sort of looked like the energy was there for you guys, right?
Yeah, we knew they were going to get out and run on us, so we knew we had to get back on D. Thurman's a good player, but they have a balanced scoring attack. They got 4 guys in double figures, another guy at 9, and they can really score the ball. So I think we only gave up like 23 points the first half, so it was more so defense than it was even offense, and we got off to a good start.
You guys all, I don't think any of you played last year in the game that you were up by 21 against these guys, but that had to be brought up at some point, either in preparation for the game or during the game, that you did have a big lead, but that didn't mean much the last time you played them here.
Yeah, I agree. I thought about that when we were up at half, and we just knew that we had to stay the course. We can't just like relax when we were up. And yeah, since we were up on them last year, and they're really a team of runs. Like when they get hot, they can really get going, and that can make us maybe slow down a little bit. But we just knew we had to stay the course throughout the game and play defense the whole game too. We did a really good job of team defense tonight.
Yeah, me and TD and C remember that one. We were sitting at the bench watching. We were like, next year, man, next year.
Yeah, we watched them celebrate.
Yeah.
Was there anything in particular, Tyler, that spurred your little 12-0 run there right after you came back out?
I mean, not really. I just was feeling it once I got a couple to go.
Fast break jam.
Yeah, that one was really nice pass from this guy.
Oh, really?
Finally got a good dunk down. That was pretty exciting.
How did it feel for you guys, coming back from playing Gonzaga and then getting out into the Summit League first game? Do you guys feel like kind of winning against a team in that top 10, now going against these guys, did it feel good to kind of go out and, like, did that game kind of help you guys prepare for coming to the Summit League play, or how did that kind of feel for you guys?
Yeah, it definitely helped us out a lot. I think that we learned a lot from that game, and we just knew that, like, we were hanging with Gonzaga for a little bit, and then once they got on a run, we just knew we couldn't let teams do that, and we had to, like, keep our poise throughout the game. I think that was a big learning experience for us.
Yeah, and Trey, I think you guys kind of got off to a really hot start. I mean, you guys were like, it just seemed like you guys still had, like, it was a different game pace, it looked like almost at the beginning, and it just kind of carried you guys all the way through.
Yeah, coach has been getting on us about having good starts and just pushing the tempo, and we wanted to do that, our first game in the league, so we just wanted to come out strong.
Trey, was this a game you and maybe even Matt and Carlton thought a lot about, that first conference game?
Yeah, we thought about it a lot because our coaches always preach how good our conference is, and we know how good our conference is, and the main key was to start off on the right foot, and we just played together, and everybody shared the ball, and we played great team defense, and it just helped us out.
Matt, first chance to play at Frost coming up here. What are your feelings on that?
Well, I went to the game last year, and they got a good atmosphere, a good crowd. So whenever you get to play in front of a good crowd, it's fun. And a rivalry game, that's what you live for as a college basketball player. So I'm looking forward to it, but just another game, man. Approach it just like any other game and go in there and take care of business.
Tyler, how about for you, a little different because you've been at these games before. What's it like? Is there anything you can impart on these guys going up to Frost?
Not really. I mean, I remember one year we got up on them like 20-0, and that doesn't mean anything. Like they came back and finished the half like up. So like you just got to stay the course like we did today, and it's gonna be really fun to play those guys again. I mean, I don't really like the fans there. I don't really like SDSU very much, so I can't wait to play them.
You'll be dead by the ball. Nice.
Any other questions for these guys? You good, Mick?
Is it heard, sir?
Just one. And this has already kind of been asked, but just getting that first conference game in, you have the rest of the conference here. Trey, is it kind of a sign that you have a new assignment now? The team has a new assignment.
Yeah, we definitely have a new assignment. It's just like starting a new season, Like basically, conference is what determines your seed inside the conference tournament. So we definitely want to not look back at the non-conference game, but learn from them. And we just want to learn from them and get ready for the conference. And start off on the right foot, but we got to keep going.
Well, it was a very good win against a very good team. Omaha has had a very a difficult schedule, so I think they came into the game 7-6, and you just never feel easy, no matter how much you're ahead. You know, if you're up 15, they have spurt ability. I mean, they can score it quick. Even when they started pressing out of one of those timeouts, we knew they were going to press. And, of course, we cut soft to the ball, and all of a sudden it's a 5-0 run just like that. And they did that a couple of different times. And you have to be able to control the tempo. You have to be very, very disciplined on offense. And you really have to take care of the ball because, I mean, Tradeon Hollins alone gets over 3 steals a game, led the country in steals. And he's just got unbelievable instincts. So really proud of our effort. Got to take care of business at home in the Summit League. It's just so even from whoever's supposed to be number 1 to whoever's supposed to be number 9. I don't know who it is. So you got to be able to handle business every night, but in particular at home, and really proud of how we played. Held them to 26% in the first half, and that was, in a lot of ways, the difference.
What happened last year with this team? Was that a reminder?
Well, I think so. You know, it's obviously they're a different team, but we're even more of a different team. And, you know, you think about those things. After that game last year and hearing them whoop it up a little bit in terms of their fan, Trey Dickerson and Matt Mooney and Carlton all called a meeting and met with me the next day. And they didn't forget that. And so I think it's everything that goes into this game, right? It's that time of year. You look around last night, and South Dakota State's playing North Dakota State, and Denver's hosting Oral Roberts. And then you see on TV UCLA, you know, loses to Oregon on a last-second shot, and Nebraska upsets Indiana. And there's just an energy, and it's that time. And our guys were really locked in. We had a phenomenal practice yesterday. And our guys in walkthrough today and shoot around were really locked in. And then when we do the pregame speech before the game, our guys just had a different look to them. And we get done with that, and I said to the assistants, like, oh, man, our guys just look different. And Coach G, who did a great job with the scout, said, like, I've never seen them like this. And it showed we really jumped out to a great start, really forced some turnovers. You know, to turn those guys over 17 times, I thought was exceptional for us, and led to some easy baskets back the other way, and gave us a great momentum throughout the game.
A little bit of problems there with turnovers. It seemed like, is that maybe just the fact you're playing a team that can get after it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we end up with 14. That's all in all, that's not a bad number. The first half, you know, in the first half, we shoot 51.5%, which is a great number, 17 for 33, but I believe we had 8 turnovers at halftime, if I'm not mistaken. And some of those forced, some of those unforced. You know, I remember Simpson drives right baseline and jumps to pass. You know, he knows better. He needs to jump stop and make those kind of plays. But that's what they do, too. They get you sped up. They get you going fast. They have a couple guys that just come out of nowhere to make plays at times, and that can really, really help them, but it can hurt them too. You know, it's feast or famine that way. So the biggest thing, even though we turned it over 8 times, and you never want that as a team, we avoided the catastrophic ones where we're just turning it over on top and it's just leading right to 2 points the other way. Although Sparky's pass late in the game wasn't exactly ideal. But all in all, that was our biggest thing we talked about, is we cannot let our offense be their best offense. And we did that tonight. Well, early on, I thought our defense created a great energy and got us downhill. We passed up some open shots tonight to get better shots. And then we were really getting downhill on them, and not only getting into the paint, but getting into the paint to draw and kick to get better looks. I thought Mooney really sparked us in the first half. You know, they did their 1-2-2 three-quarter court press and went to the 3-2 zone to try to get us off attack. And when you start making some threes against that, it's hard to stay in that. And we've struggled from the three a bit this year. And some of that I attribute to me as a coach emphasizing defense more than offense. I think some of that was not being able to have a whole lot of practice time early on when we played those 10 games, 9 practices, 3 off days. And so our guys have become better with that. We're taking better threes, and I think it's showing with our percentage getting a lot better, 10 for 18 tonight.
A little bit of a scare there when Flack went out and then came back in to score 12 in a row.
Jeremy, I'm used to that by now. No, I'm kidding. You know, that's always a scary deal. You just, as a coach, you obviously you never want to have anybody go down, but certainly he's our one senior. He's been our studying influence on our team. He's been our most consistent performer. He's really been an anchor inside for us. And that's never easy to see, but at least, he in some ways, it really kind of re-energized us when he came back in and they started their press. They were making a little run and they do their press and we skipped it over the top and he drills that 3. And I believe he went on a 12-0 run? 12-0 run by himself in 2 minutes. Then he got a little overzealous shooting threes with 24 seconds on the clock and 22 on the clock. But, he'll learn from that. But he was a big key in our run. But he's been so good for us all year. Thought we had great balance. Trey Dickerson played his best game as a Yote. 5 for 10 from the field, 5 of 6 from the line, 17 points. He still turned it over too many times with 4. But just played with really good pace tonight and defended well. And, and then Simpson came off the bench and played. He didn't play a ton in the first half, but was really, really good in the second half, just getting the ball to the right people at the right times. Then one last thing, our bench was good, 24 points. And when we get good bench production, because there was a long time there and kind of when we were struggling, we weren't getting anything off the bench. And so that was key. And the last thing, Austin Sparks was very good tonight. He really anchored us defensively, brought great energy. Flack had those 2 fouls in the first half, and we sat him for a long time and just anchored us defensively. When you hold Trayshawn Thurman to 9 points and 3 for 9 from the field, you're doing something right. Marcus Tyus, who's had 33 points, I think, against USC and 37, I believe, against Montana State. Holding 1 for 12 from the field was key. And then Tradeon Hollins just does everything for them, and he has 5 turnovers. We won this game because of our defense. Well, it's going to be a tremendous challenge. We haven't won there since 1999. That's a long time. But Mike Dahm is the preseason player of the year. He's an NBA prospect at 6'9", 6'10". He shoots the 3. He can score it over either shoulder. He can drive it with either hand. He's almost become, in a way, a center point guard, because most of the time they love to throw it into him in like the mid-post area. If you bring a double team, he's really good at skipping it out and finding the right guy. If you don't bring the double team, he's going to try to go to work. And you just got to pick your poison of how we're going to defend that, because he is so good. And they surround him with 5 guys that can really shoot the 3. I'm not 100% positive on this, but I believe over half of their shots on the year are 3-pointers. So they let them fly. And then they've been much better since they switched to playing all zone. They're going to play a 1-3-1 zone, a 2-3 zone, a 3-2 zone. The other night against North Dakota State, they played a little triangle too. They're just throwing kind of a lot of different things at you. And so we got to be prepared for anything and everything. And then we have to handle that environment, because when you go on the road to those places, to that place in a rivalry game, it's pandemonium, it's chaos. Some things aren't going to go right, and you have to be able to handle adversity that way. And our guys are excited for the challenge.
Is it good for all your new guys to get a game like that early?
We'll find out. Here's the deal. Our preseason schedule was great for us. Like I just look back to, we went to Spain. To be able to have all these young guys and go to Spain for 10 days, and we played 2 really, really good teams. Then look at our schedule. We open on the road against the Missouri Valley schedule in a tight game and pull it out. It's the first game for all these guys together. I don't care how good or bad that opponent. That's a hard thing to do. Then you open up a brand new arena, which is so big time, but there's pressure on you to win that game, and so you do that. Then you played in Florida in a excellent field. Houston just rocks UConn the other night. Kent State just beat Texas at Texas. Like, that was a great mid-major tournament for us. And to do that against those teams, and then to be able to kind of come home, but then you're playing at Nebraska, where our guys are just literally like, when we drove the bus into the arena, like, wow. And just how big the arena was. Like, I still remember hearing them say those kind of things, and you're kind of looking at them like, really? But you're also like, you forget how young and inexperienced we are. So, and then just even that 8-day road trip to play in an NBA arena in Portland, like it wasn't a difficult atmosphere, but it's a cool thing. You're playing in an NBA arena, and then you're at the Kennel in Gonzaga. Like, all those experiences, you do that to prepare for league play. So you'd like to think that, we've been battle tested with some of those things, but certainly it's different when it's a rivalry game, so to speak, at their place.